Alright there guys, so now I want to go over the results from the gapping session at Green Garden Golf Dome. I think it was Dominic in the comment section the last time I did one of these videos. Dominic wanted to know, was I happy with the results, what I felt about the results, and then there was a lot of comments about some of the gaps between some of the clubs. So I want to kind of go over this and explain my thoughts. I know I don't hit the ball perfectly. I know I don't hit the ball the same every day, and you often have to make adjustments based on the weather, based on the way you're swinging. I only hit 3 shots. I'm not gonna base my entire game on these 3 shots. We're not professionals, so we don't hit the ball the same distance all the time. First of all, the driver carry distance during this session was averaging 217. The dispersion was 214 to 220 on those 3 shots, which is really tight. The 4-wood, 189 to 194 carry for an average of 192, really good. And the high wood, 184 to 187. So we'll notice there was only a 6-yard gap between the high wood and the 4-wood there. I noticed that, and I also noticed the big gap between the 4 hybrid and the high wood. The 4 hybrid was 171 to 174, average of 172, so that's 14 yards difference between the 4 hybrid and the high wood. A couple things there. I will say the high wood is going to launch a little bit higher than the 4 hybrid. The 4 hybrid is going to roll out a little more, so that 14-yard gap on a total distance won't be 14 yards. It'll be less than that. So, but the other thing I noticed, and you guys probably noticed this too, the 4 hybrid, high wood, and the 4 wood, there was 5 yards difference is the most carry distance. So the 4 wood was 189 to 194, 5-yard difference. High wood 184 to 187, 3-yard difference. And also the 4 hybrid. That kind of confirms to me what I always say, is that I'm a lot better with my longer clubs than I am with my shorter clubs. So with some of the shorter clubs, you're going to see some bigger gaps. I'm better with the longer clubs simply because I've worked on it more, I've practiced with it more. I have to hit those a lot more often. I hit those a ton. When I play tournaments, I'm always hitting high woods and hybrids in the greens, and I rarely hit short irons. 5 hybrid, 160 to 167, 163 average. So that's only 9 yards between the 5 hybrid and the 4 hybrid. That's pretty good. And then 8 yards between the 6 hybrid and the 5 hybrid. The 7 iron, only 5 yards difference between that and the 6 hybrid. So that's a pretty tight gap there. We go from 8 to 9, 9 yards. From 7 to 8, 9 yards. When you go beyond that, from the 9 into the wedges, there's some big gaps there. The 9 iron was a 16-yard gap. There was a 10-yard gap between the 48 to the pitching wedge. A 19-yard gap from the 48 to the 54, and then a 14-yard gap from the 54 to the 58. Small gaps from the 4 wood to the high wood, and the 5 hybrid to the 7 iron, and then big gaps between the high wood and the 4 hybrid. And then the biggest gaps from the 9 iron through the wedges. If I'm playing tournaments, I hit so few 9 irons and so few wedges that that's where I want my bigger gaps, because I may play a tournament, I may only hit 1 or 2 shots in that range. So I just don't really hit many full wedges and full 9 irons on the tournament courses that I play. Now if I play a tournament on a shorter course, which I only do that 1 time a year, and you guys will probably hear about that tournament, that's when I'll make some adjustments to the bag, which would be, I'd probably take maybe the 6 hybrid out or the 7 iron out, and then add a 50 or 52 degree wedge. The other thing with the big gap between the high wood and the 4 hybrid, depending on the course that I'm playing, there's a good possibility that I could take either the 6 hybrid out or the 7 iron out, and then add a 7 wood to fill that gap between the high wood and the 4 hybrid. So if there's anything you can take from this gapping session, is that you have to fit your club and your bag to the course or the courses that you play. If you have a home course that you play week in and week out, then maybe you need to fit your bag to fit that course. The one other gap I'll say, that tight gap between the 4 wood and the high wood, I hit that high wood so good it's going to be tough for me to get any club that I can hit much longer than that high wood. I carried that high wood 186 on average. It's just going to be tough. If I put a 3 wood in my bag, maybe I'll carry that further than that 4 wood at 192. Then I'll possibly lose some consistency on the strike. I generally hit that high wood pretty solid most of the time. Alright there guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see a video on me playing a 7,000 yard course, click the video to my right. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, Mr. Short Hitter, out.
5 holes to go, just play 13. Need a par my way in, gotta hit more greens. My game's obscene now, hooks and big fades, it's not my day now.